Hey guys, it's Shannon with Apex Tarot Pure Spirit, and I just wanted to address a Bobby Sue, probably an AKA Bobby Sue for all I know. Stated something about on a Christmas video that I did, something about my grandkids. Now, unless you know me, then you don't know what you're talking about. First of all, my grandchildren love me very much. Let me just tell you a little story, okay? By way of what I've been talking about on my channel for quite some time, being hunted and chased and stuff like that. This person is probably connected to people who have really done dirty, murderous things that have been trying to deceitfully strategize and to get away with that, and I just won't give up on it. You understand? I'm not going to give up on it. And so, anyway, I'm not moved by what you said because I know that I'm a really good mother and grandmother, for one thing. Now, my grandchildren's mother had told a story to my granddaughter, okay, which actually my step-granddaughter, and I don't like saying that, but this person made it the way that it is, okay, because of her own deceit and trying to hide that deceit. And because it got revealed because of the hurt that she did to me, it's just become a big old war, okay? Instead of sitting down and being an adult, she lost her mind, okay? Because she didn't think that something was going to come out of the closet, okay? And she kept pushing, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stand up for truthfulness, and if you want to attack me and hunt me like an animal, then I'm going to be out and open about it, okay? So she really made all this big mess for no reason at all. But what I'm fixing to tell you about is when this first was starting, before I was fully awakened to the secret murders that they were trying to attempt to murder me, and how it came about of me being awakened to a little bit of that in the very beginning is something that her daughter said to me. Now, her daughter is, let's see, she probably was, it's been almost maybe a year and a half ago now. I don't know, maybe 7 years old, whatever. She's young. She's a little girl, okay? And she started to tell this story that they dropped the kids off, and I was babysitting them while they went to a wedding, okay? And so they dropped them off, and we were sitting there just watching a movie because it was, later in the evening, just easier on me to watch them at that time because I had back situations and I was still pulling my pain down by my mind and all that kind of stuff. And so, for me to watch the kids at that time, I just took my time with it. And, but anyway, inside the point, but anyway, I'm just real personable with you guys anyway. But her daughter had started to tell a story because we were like, okay, let's just lay down here and watch a movie and just relax and, tell me a story, because one of the kids wanted to tell me a nighttime story or something like that. And she began to tell me about, I can't even remember everything she said, but she started going in talking about a dragon and how the princess was going to be eaten by the dragon. And her brother started to say my name, and his sister said, psh, psh. And that's when my intuition was just like, because I had been chased down, I'd be going to the park, and my intuition would be just going off. I wasn't, fully awake in what was going on, but yet my intuition knew, and just that weird feeling on the inside that we have. And that's when something really went off on the inside of me. And I thought, what did you just say? And it was just like the divine was just saying they're talking about you. And I knew that they were. And I addressed my son about it. And, of course, my son was just like, I know my children have been blackmailed because I know my children love me. Okay? I don't care what they've said. I know my children love me. Okay? And I've always loved my children and have always given to my children. And for somebody to say something about my grandchildren being afraid of me, you don't get to say that to me, because that's a damn lie. And I'm not moved by that, for one thing. I'm talking to people who eat people. People who are trying to cover up murderous acts and trying to poke at people because they know they can't get you. You guys are being watched further than what you even freaking understand, and you're not going to get away with it because the divine's already said there's a flood coming. There's a flood coming, and you're not going to get away with it. Okay, so Puff the Magic Dragon is going to eat your lunch. That Leviathan. It's funny because today, as I went to town, the divine began to speak to me about Leviathan, and Leviathan is the proud. Okay, and it goes right back to that tower that just keeps coming down, coming down, coming down. It's truth about things, okay? And the proud is connected to the dragon, okay? And if you've got to tell your little my grandchildren or your children stories like that to plant little wicked seeds, something's wrong with that adult and that child, or that mother with that child. That is unhealthy to do something like that. You know, my grandchildren and I used to, hug and give each other a kiss and say, I love you so much. And when all this began to unfold, I had realized that I would kiss my grandbaby's cheeks and say, Mima loves you. And they'd be all talkative up until I said, I love you. And then it'd just be like, and one day I was at their house and their mother said whoa like that, but it was like it was a code word for my grandson because they were being trained to act a certain way around me because they were lying about who I was because of jealousy, because of the things that I knew that they had done deceitfully, all kinds of stuff. And this unhealthy, this is little children in a home with someone who's supposed to be a mother and a teacher to those babies. Now, I just texted my son not too long ago because of that Bobby Sue comment on that Christmas video, and I went back and I deleted what I said because I said some really harsh things on there. That evening I was really upset on that video, but it was all truthful as always. Things that I've went through, you don't have a right to say anything about me because you don't know me, because my character is for the divine, for one thing. But I just texted my son and just literally just told him, I basically told him I've asked the divine once all this is over with that I'd be able to raise my grandson. I'm sure that pissed her off. Okay, now that's up to the divine. I have asked the divine, from all the time that was stolen from my grandbabies, that once this is said and done, because, look, my grandchildren are being raised by somebody who's literally needs to go speak to somebody. Okay, and I'm not trying to be rude, but look, if you got to tell your kids that your grandmother is going to be eaten by a dragon, something's wrong with that. If you got to train your children to stop saying I love you to someone who really loves their grandchild, something's wrong with that because of hatred in this person's heart and craziness in their mind because they've lost it. They've lost it. When is the officials that are watching my channel going to stand up and do something? These are my grandbabies. I mean, maybe you don't care about my grandchildren, but I care about my grandchildren. I care about my grandchildren. I care about other people's children. Because if my grandchildren are going to be raised up in a home where people now went cuckoo, then they're going to be a next generation to be raised up like that and affect your children and your nieces and nephews and stuff like that. And I've gotten on my channel and have been unbiased even to my own children and have said if they've done something, then they deserve what they get. And as much as that grieves me on the inside, I'm more for truth and integrity than anything else. Okay? Even in my anger, even if I have called them a bee and everything else, truthfulness, I've done that. Okay? So for the person who stated something about my grandchildren today, first of all, I don't appreciate you for that, and you don't get to pass judgment on me because the divine knows who I am. You go back on my channel and you allow the divine to show who I am on my character, and then you can place a judgment on me, okay? And so anyway, I just wanted to address that person, and I wanted to publicly just say I don't appreciate my grandchildren being raised up underneath this craziness in this person's head because they've lost their mind. They've been influenced by people who have lost their mind. And I'm asking for you to please do something. Okay? Whether or not I ever see my grandchildren or not, as long as they get into a home that can teach them truth, I mean real truth, and love, because I know what it's like. I did therapeutic foster care for children who've really been abused, okay? And I'm dealing with a grown-ass person that has this mindset of little children that I've had in my care before when I did that therapeutic foster care before. This somebody who literally is a grown adult who can function in society, but she's literally, I've said this on my channel before about this person. When she got confronted by me because of what someone said that she did to me, I called that place of business to talk to her, and I was so upset. I was so upset. And I told her boss that she was an intelligent liar. She was an intelligent liar. Okay? Now, you officials, I know you're tapped into her phone. I know that you're tapped into other people's phone and been watching. If you're watching my phone, I know you're watching their phone. Okay? And above that, there's a real divine even above your authority. Okay? And I think that my channel can prove that the divine, if he has to materialize something in this realm to protect his daughter, he will, and he does. And he proves it, and he confirms it. Okay? So I wouldn't mess around with the children of the Almighty. Okay? Because we are people that want to stand in integrity and see this earth raised to a place of consciousness for truth's sake. Okay? My children are affected by this, and so are yours if you have children. If whoever I'm talking to. And if you're somebody watching on the other end of this and in secret cahoots with this person, you're going to have price to pay by the divine. Okay? You're really in a fix. You really are. If you're afraid of some Leviathan dragon because you're proud, because of, oh my God, this thing's going to eat me. Well, that's an energy, for one thing. That's a demonic entity that has overtaken your mind. That's craziness. People, this is crazy. When is this going to stop? I command you to stand up and do the right thing, or you're going to have hell to pay, because the flood's coming.